Good afternoon, everyone. So I hope everyone is enjoying their lunch. And while you're eating, we're going to get this party started. Our first guest speaker is Angela from Public Utilities. I just want to give a personal story about Angela. She has been a rock star for the wellness program since day one, since I've taken it over. She has always attended all of my events from Public Utilities, from City Hall. She's always been a huge champion of mine, and I just want to say that I greatly appreciate her and love her to pieces. And I was super excited when she decided that she would be my speaker. I asked her and she was like, Kelly, no, can't you find someone else? And I was like, I'll try. And she's like, are you gonna try? I said, I promise, I'm gonna try. And so I asked one other person and they was like, no, I'm not ready. And I said, okay. So I went back to Angela, I said, I couldn't find nobody. And she said, okay, Kelly, I'll do it. So I would like to invite Angela up here to talk to you today about her journey. And I just want to say thank you for being my speaker today.
Hello, everyone. First, come on, y'all, let's praise God up in here this afternoon, because he's been just that good. Come on, let's give God a hand of praise, because he has been just that good, amen? I do give honor to God, who is the head of my life, and to my sister down here, to my sister Dawn Pointer, my sister Ruben, my brother Jerry, to my co-workers. Come on, let's give it up for my beautiful co-workers, and all of you, yes. I remember Kelly asking me this every year, and I'm like, no, every year, because I'd be kind of nervous and I didn't want to do it. But when she asked me this time, it's something about, I just felt kind of different. And I said, ain't no way God could have blessed you and you not tell nobody about it, amen? And so I called and I said, yes, Kelly, I'm gonna do it. So I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful that she even thought about me to even do it. So y'all know I'm scared, right? Y'all know I'm kind of frightened up here. But God's gonna take over, so for him to get the glory out of this, amen? So we're gonna talk about my journey, where I did go to the doctor. I always make my doctor's appointments. I always do my mammograms, never miss. And so this one particular time when I went, she told me that they seen a mass behind the breast. And so I come every year, and so I'm always talking to Christina, and she always kept us updated and told me what to look for. Never had no lump, I didn't feel no pain, no anything. But like I said, normally I go to my appointments. And so they did say they seen something. I was kind of nervous, so when I went back, they kept on saying, no, it's probably nothing. Well, there's my journey, it's my story. And as I went through my journey, I was journaling, because it did help me. And so I'm taking notes. I had wrote myself down, so that's why I got it here. But this is my journey. My journey started on Monday, January the 20th, 2020, a cold winter day. I was out celebrating Martin Luther King Day, going from one event to another, having a great time. All of a sudden, I get a call. And a call that I was expecting, but not expecting because of the holiday. You do know storms come whenever they're going to come, expectantly or unexpectedly. Well, that day I was hit with the storm of my life. You have cancer. A sudden and violent shaking within my mind, causing a great disturbance, disruption, shock, fear, and confusion came over me as I was trying to comprehend everything the nurse was saying and trying to act like I had it all together, because I was in a car with Dr. Pointer when I got the news. We looked at each other and she said to me, what? You remember that, Vaughn? She said, what? Cancer? And tears began to run down my face. We both was in shock and disbelief. So she said to me, do you want to go to the church or you want to go to Hope Haven? Hope Haven is something that she have into her home, that you go and you pray. It's an altar. And so people come from all over the world going there and pray and just have church. And so I told her, I said, well, since my car was at her house, I said, I'll go to Hope Haven. I went to Hope Haven, what we call the War Room, and I cried to the Lord because I knew I needed him. He gave me enough strength to get up and drive home while my mind was still thinking, what a disaster. Well, because I've seen this storm several times in my life from my family and friends, I knew the damage would cause. So fear, worry, sadness, tears, and pain came up on me. Getting home, sitting in quietness, God reminded me of a conversation that he had with me months ago. He said, you can ask anything in my name, and it shall be given. You have not because you ask not. Well, I didn't quite understand that because I'm always asking God for stuff, communicating with him. Well, you see, God knew a storm was heading my way, and I was going to need a storm shelter for him to hide me in his pavilion. So what I do? I asked him to help me. I said, Lord, give me what to do and how to do it. So I began to look up scriptures and miracles that he had performed, and I put them all over my house. I had these little cards here. I had them all over the place. I just got scriptures and put them in the kitchen, on the cabinets, put them on the stove, on the microwave. So I love the kitchen because I love to eat. So I had them all. So I had them in the bathroom. Everywhere I go, I put these cards here, and I'm going to read some of them. I know the Lord is always with me. I will not be shaken, for he is right beside me. Lord, I put my hope in you. These were the cards I had all over my house. I will yet praise you, my Savior, my God. Oh Lord, hear me as I pray. Listen to my cry for help, my King, my God, for I pray to no one but you. Hallelujah, hallelujah. So again, I put the scriptures all over my home. I did the miracles God had performed. I quoted these scriptures every day so that they can get in my mind and in my heart, that I could begin to speak life into what I thought was a dead situation. Then I began to use the antidote that God gave me for the fear. I turned the fear into faith, my worry into worship, my sadness into singing, my tears into thankfulness, and my pain went into a praise. Guess what? The storm calmed down. So I was able to make my appointments and testings and wise decisions and get ready for surgery. See, sometimes your attitude and gratitude is also part of your healing. My surgery was February the 5th, 2020. I had so much love there from my family, my pastor and first lady, my sister Ruby, all my brothers and sisters, Dr. Porter and friends, and they gave me peace while waiting. The doctor came in to explain some things to me. He said, I'm going to go as deep as I can to try to get it all, but if I don't get it, you have to come back for a second surgery, and then I'll remove the rest. I said, Dr. Shank, I said just like that, Dr. Shank, do you believe in God and his miracles? He said, yes, I do. I said, well, it's all done because I ain't coming back. We're going to get it done that day. We're going to get it all out that day. So they were here to take me to the operating room. As we was rolling down the hall, I could hear in my spirit Minister Janice Woods, a member of my church, a prayer warrior who called me every day to pray, gave me daily scriptures, motivated texts, and always had an encouraging word from the Lord for me. I could hear her saying, woman of God, you got this. So the surgery went well. The cancer was in stage 1. They removed the lump along with the lymph nodes, and guess what? Dr. Shank got it all. Come on, let's give God a hand praise for that. He got it all. The doctor was well pleased, and I remember saying when they told me, hallelujah, won't he do it? Hallelujah. My recovery was awesome. I had very little pain, but a whole lot of love. Yes, you know love also can heal. Every day I had visitors and beautiful flowers sent to me, food and fruit baskets, lots of cards. At night I would lay in my bed and read all of my cards. and that will help me to get ready for the next phase, radiation. But then, storm coronavirus hit our country, and they had to put my radiation on hold. But March 27, 2020, they put me on the schedule for April the 2nd, 2020. First day of radiation, I was afraid and emotional because I was all alone. See, my 2 daughters and others was with me at all of my appointments, but nobody could go with me because of the virus. When I say nobody, they couldn't even get in a car with me because of my condition, and they didn't want nobody with me. So I was thinking, my daughters, Jamie and Jamia, Mike can't be there, but God, daughters, goodness and mercy, they will be there, and they should follow me not only that day, but for all the days of my life. I fixed myself up pretty that day like I am today. I fixed myself up pretty that day. I encouraged myself, and I remember the words of Minister Woods, "You got this." Thank God for the nurses who assisted me for the 20 treatments that I had to have. Some days I go in, you couldn't even see their faces because everybody had on masks. You couldn't see no smiles. You didn't see anything. So you were just there, to do what it was to do. It wasn't always easy. Some days I would lie there and cry when that machine would roll over me. But this one day, it just got harder than other days. And it was trying to take me into a dark place. As I was laying there, a song came over the speaker in the room. Marvin Sapp, and it said, "Never would have made it. Oh, I never would have made it." Yes, yes, yes. Then I can hear my grandma Jerry quoting the 23rd Psalms. "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me." So now it's coming to the end, y'all. I had all my treatments and everything. The doctor was trying to ask me about the chemo because right there and I didn't know if I had have chemo or not. So they decided, well, we're going to give her the chemo pill, so I didn't have to go through the chemo. So I had to do the chemo pill for 5 years. So as the treatments went on and it was almost over, it was almost time for me to ring the bell. So I said to them, well, is it possible? Could my family be here? Because I was going to ring the bell, and I was so excited about that. Well, they told me, no, you can't have nobody here. We'll be here with you when you ring the bell. So as I was singing on the way out the door, "Never would have made it, Lord, without you," I heard these horns blowing when I got to the door. I heard bells ringing, people jumping out the cars, and I stopped. I said, what is going on? I said, maybe I need to go back in because some finna jump off out here. I got kind of scared. I'm looking like, wait a minute, what is they doing out here? Well, when I looked, I seen family members. Well, my family was all out there. They was ringing the bell. They had signs made out there. Oh my God, just horn blowing. My sister and everybody. They had came out there to congratulate me on being cancer-free on that day. Yes. So since they couldn't be with me ringing the bell there, they said, we'll come where you at, and they rang that bell. And so I stand here today before you all to let you all know, today I am a 4-year cancer survivor. Hallelujah. Continue to pray for me. Amen.
Hello, everyone. I knew, Angela, you would be amazing at this. What an inspiration. I love it. Okay, so I'm going to introduce our next speaker. She is from the Cleveland Clinic. Her name is Stacey Matthews, and she is a nurse practitioner. She's been a nurse practitioner for over 15 years, earning her MSN in 2009 and focusing her career on oncology. In 2023, she joined the Community Outreach and Patient Navigation Program, where she is dedicated to promoting community health literacy. Her goal is to raise awareness encourage overdue screening registrations, and ultimately affect high cancer incidence and mortality rates in Northeast Ohio. So Stacy is also a breast cancer survivor herself and is passionate about educating women on breast cancer awareness. Come on up, Stacy.
Thank you so much. Angela, I want to thank you so much for sharing your story. You know, it's stories like that we have to share amongst one another to encourage one another to continue our screenings. We have to share our stories because we know that cancer, it's scary. Yes. It would be remiss of me to not just share a little bit of my story, being diagnosed in 2023, hearing that word cancer. It's a difficult diagnosis. Going through chemotherapy myself, going through multiple rounds of surgery. But I am so happy to say that I am too on the other side, that I am too a breast cancer survivor. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But I am so happy that there are forums like this that makes this conversation a safe place, that makes this conversation a comfortable place. So thank you so much for allowing me today just to share some information about breast cancer. So earlier today I had shared just a one-page, I call it a breast cancer fact sheet. And I wrote down some information about some things that I wanted to share with you all today. And then I'll add a little bit to it as I go along. But one of the things that I wanted to start out with today is starting with some of the breast cancer statistics. So we know that breast cancer is the most commonly diagnosed cancer amongst women. 1 in 8 women are diagnosed with breast cancer, and they will be diagnosed with an invasive form of breast cancer. I don't know if you've heard the conversations that have been in the news, but more and more younger women are being diagnosed with breast cancer. Under the age of 45, more younger Black women are being diagnosed with breast cancer. Breast cancer risk doubles if there is a first-degree relative. So that means if you have a mother, a sister with a breast cancer diagnosis, that can double your risk. Breast cancer is the second leading cause of cancer amongst women, but it's the first leading cause of cancer amongst Black and Hispanic women. I see some men in the audience, and I want men to know that breast cancer exists amongst men as well. So I wanted to throw some statistics in there as well. So 1 in 726 US men also too are diagnosed with breast cancer. So men, I want you too to be aware that you too can be diagnosed with that. What are the causes of breast cancer? All the causes of breast cancer are not known. We don't know all of the causes. There are some things that we know that are linked to it. If there is, of course, a family history, we know that there are things such as alcohol use, obesity, smoking, if there was an exposure to radiation to the chest or to the breast underneath the age of 30. So if there are women or men who had a treatment for cancer underneath the age of 30 and they had radiation to the chest, that can increase your risk for breast cancer. Okay, so again, when you do have obesity, if you drink and smoke, it doesn't mean that you're absolutely going to get breast cancer, but it definitely will increase your risk. The best way to lower the risk, I don't like to use the word prevent because there's no way that we can absolutely prevent breast cancer. There are things that we can do to prevent it. Some of the things that we can do is get an annual mammogram. Does anyone in the audience know when an annual mammogram screening began? What age does that begin? Does anyone in the audience know? I heard 40. Absolutely, 40. But what I also want you to know, if there was a first degree relative, so just say for example, if your mother was diagnosed at the age of 40 with breast cancer, your daughter can have a mammogram 10 years earlier, so at the age of 30. Another thing I want women in particular to know, if you have a mammogram and you're reading your report and your mammogram says that you have extremely dense breast tissue, make sure that you are getting a mammogram that has 3D imaging. Another word that you may hear with that is called tomosynthesis, but another word, just another quick way to remember that is 3D. Why 3D? 3D is a better picture and is able to better look through that dense breast tissue. Dense breast tissue can obscure, it can hide little small tumors, it can hide little small calcifications that may not be seen on a 2D imaging. So that's really important, something that I want women to know, okay? So what are the things that women should look for? What are some of the symptoms of breast cancer? So things that you look for, of course, if there's a lump, if you see any skin thickening, any blood discharge from the nipple, if you see any discharge from the nipple, and I have to make sure that I'm making myself clear, it doesn't necessarily mean that it is cancer, but these are things that you definitely want to bring to your attention of your physician. So make sure that you are talking to your physician if you see any of those things, okay? If you look in the mirror and you notice that there's an inversion, so the nipple is kind of sinking in, you want to look at those things. So with breast self-examinations, you do this once per month. For ladies who are still having a menstrual cycle, a period, you do it 7 to 10 days after your cycle. And that's important because during your cycle, the breasts are have a little bit more texture. So you may feel something that's not necessarily there. The breasts change during that hormonal time during your cycle. So wait until after that, 7 to 10 days. Women who are menopausal, pick a day of the month that you can remember. Okay, and also make sure both sides of the breast, make sure that you are also capturing underneath the arm, because underneath the arm, you want to make sure that there are no lumps underneath that armpit too. So making sure, being diligent about those things. So we capturing yearly mammogram and monthly self-breast examinations. Okay, ladies? Men, if there are anything, you notice a lump or anything like that, do know if there is enough tissue there, men too can have a mammogram. If there is not enough tissue there, then usually what is done is an ultrasound to better evaluate what is there, okay? We talked a little bit about routine screening. Again, starting at the age of 40, could start earlier than that, depending upon family history. But the goal of mammogram, if there is something there, the goal is to catch it at its earliest stage. Again, we can't prevent breast cancer if it is going to be there, but the goal is to catch it at its earliest stage. Just as in Angela's case, and also in my case, 1 year my mammogram was normal, self-breast examination. One thing I want to point out, which is very important, I didn't feel anything with my self-breast examination. My cancer was caught with a mammogram. So again, very important to keep up with your mammograms. But again, my cancer was caught at the earliest stage. The earlier the cancer is caught, the earlier the prognosis. Again, I know when you hear the word cancer, it's scary. Trust me, being in the medical field, not only in the medical field, I was working in cancer at the time, not breast cancer. I was working in blood cancers, but being on the other side, being a patient in the chair was a very different experience. Even though I had the knowledge, it was a very, very scary process, but thank God, God carried me through it. I'm here and I'm sharing this information with you all today. Okay, so what are things, again, that we can do to decrease our risk? Exercise. 150 minutes per week. So that's 30 minutes a day. Now that don't have to be anything crazy. Ladies, gentlemen, that can be a simple walk, walking outside. It can be even housework for 30 minutes. It just is moving your body, whatever you like to do for 30 minutes or more. That is of your choice, but 150 minutes per week. Eating a diet rich in vegetables, rich in calcium. Cutting back on your high fatty foods, red meats, processed foods. It's interesting again, there's a lot of conversation as to why is cancer rate, not only in breast cancer, but cancer in general is just going up in all cancers. Is it due to the foods we eat, environmental stress? But we have to be just, again, mindful of what we're putting into our bodies. We have to limit the use of alcohol. Being real specific, for women, 1 drink per day. For men, 2 drinks per day. And cut back even more if you're able, but reducing that because that can increase your risk. Okay? And then again, performing your self-breast examinations, making sure that you're keeping your stress levels down, making sure that you are getting enough sleep, and all of those things that can contribute to higher stress and all of those things. But that is all I wanted to share with you today. Of course, if there are any questions for myself, you can pull me to a side, absolutely ask me. But one thing that I love about my job, because we know that there are disparities out there. We know that there are barriers that prevent people from getting the care that they need. I love what I do because my team, we are out in the community and we identify what those barriers are, whether it's financial, transportation, whatever it is, we try to identify that and we try to remove the barriers to connect people to the screening that we need, because we know screenings are life-saving. So we have to encourage that. As we do with everything else that we do in our lives, we have to be like that with our health. We like to look good, dress, look nice. We have to be just as adamant when it comes to our health. Okay? Again, we have to keep that conversation amongst our family, share our information amongst our family in terms of our health. Let's keep it a conversation. I know just in terms of sometimes older generations, they may not know their family history because they didn't share much information, but let's cultivate an environment where it's comfortable and we're sharing our stories. So again, I appreciate you allowing me to come out today to speak to you all and just to share this information. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you to both of our speakers this evening or this afternoon. They were great. I want to just give them another round of applause. So not only do we have Angela here as a survivor, but we also have survivors throughout the city. And so we would like to have them come up, our survivors, here to the front of the up to the front. We have a bag for you, for our survivors. Our survivors, go ahead. Our survivors are all through the city. We asked them to send out, we sent out an email to them to let them know that we wanted them to participate in this event. And we just want to say thank you. We just wanted to honor you and say, God bless.
Awesome.
Don't go. They want to take pictures. Also, we wanted to honor our two guest speakers. We have bags for you also. We want to say thank you so much for coming out. Thank you, Angela, for being that rock. Now, I didn't cry this time, but that I was about to, but I didn't have to this time because you are so wonderful and so uplifting. And thank you, Stacy, thank you for coming. Cleveland Clinic, in the past, we've partnered up with universities, so we have a new partnership with Cleveland Clinic this year, and so we're super excited. Thank you for being part of our team this year.